Hello, stream started. Hello.
Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. So, I was thinking about some stuff, right? Hello. I'm not sure if I will try to get the ending for the parasite thingy in Silksong. Since I celebrate much. Yes. Also, I realized something really interesting. So, I was analyzing a little bit Silksong, right? Here is the thing. I kinda played that game wrong. Once I was like out and technically having completed the game, I like finally sat down and like started to analyze the game, right? And I realized I played it wrong. Not always, but at the most crucial moments, I played it wrong. Because I was like analyzing the mechanics and everything that the games offer, right? Like the tools that I had, the things I encountered during the game, the having to get your cocoon back, the way the bosses work, how they are hidden, where the bosses are. And then I realized I fucked up. Because you see, one thing that one must do as a developer is to aid the player have fun, right? So you put certain like limits, certain like guardrails, right? To prevent the player to like optimize the fun out of the game, right? Like completely remove the fun from the game. And I noticed that once I sat down to like analyze the game, I ignored those handrails a lot. Because usually a player doesn't actually like think, right? Hello Taylor, hello. We were talking about the design of Hollow Knight, Silksong.
Hello,
After I finished the
Tilda.
game, hello. After I finished the game, I started thinking that about everything in the game and one purpose, not like lore-wise, but mechanics-wise. It served. I realized I fucked up a lot. You see, if you think back, there is a bunch of stuff I didn't use, right? I barely used the tools. I barely used the thing where you can convert your rosaries into the inventory thingy that you can break to get them back, right? So, here is the thing. When I started to think about the purpose of this, I realized it was to stop you from doing what I did. Where I was like stubbornly like fighting bosses like crazy. Where I was like fighting on a test of like might as skill, right? Even when I got frustrated, I was like, no, I have to win, I have to win, I have to win, right? And I purposely set aside the tools for some fights. I wanted to win out of sheer skill. Right? But when I actually stopped after finishing the game to analyze everything, I realized I actually ignored the guardrails, the depths put there, specifically for people like me. Yes. Because you see, the reason you have the tools is to make the fights easier for yourself, right? And if even with the tools you cannot win, you have a limited amount of shards, right? So you will eventually run out of tool ammo, basically, forcing you to go get more. That means stop facing the boss and go do something else and grind, basically, no? And then you have this other mechanic where you can convert your rosaries into consumable items you can use to get the rosaries back, right? So when you die, it doesn't hurt so much because you didn't lose that many rosaries, right? If you think about it, it's one mechanic that encourages you to stop fighting the boss, and another that makes losing to the boss lighter, right? It encourages you to not keep attacking the same boss over and over, right? Making the loss less significant, right? And then, even then, they give you an extra mechanic just in case. If you die to a boss you didn't see coming and you had too much money on you that you want to get back, and you don't want to like commit to defeating the boss, you have the little like consumable box you can use to recover your money, right? So you have like a skip mechanic with limited uses, but is there. So there is this whole sector and having checkpoint within 10 seconds on the boss to trying to fight fast. Yes, but that is not always true. There are some bosses that have a very long run back, right? So there is this significant amount of mechanics in the game specifically made to discourage you fighting the boss over and over again until you rage quit, right? By limiting your tools, if you are dependent on them, once you run out of ammo for that, you have to grind, right? That forces you off the boss, right? And then they have another mechanic where you can make the losses easier for yourself by transforming the rosaries into a consumable. And then you have another mechanic that lets you recover your rosaries if you don't want to commit to trying to beat a specific boss, right? Also, the map has a lot of areas that open at the same time. So if you run into a problem in one area, you can explore the other, right? There is a lot of stuff encouraging you to not do what I did of running into the wall until the wall gives up. Yeah. And I think the reason it doesn't work on me is because I don't rely on tools all that much. And I don't really care about my money enough to make the consumables just so we don't have to lose them, right? And I barely use the box that let you recover everything. Did you notice that? I bypass most of the guardrails they set, so you don't have to run into the boss over and over. Yes, and I also have too much pride on my own skills. Ain't that interesting? Once I actually sat down and thought back, I realized when I actually sat down and thought about the game as from the game developer perspective, I realized I'm a bit of an anomaly, because all those guardrails flew completely over my head. Yeah. Shush. Shush. Why are you making noise? Yeah, so it was very interesting. Going back and thinking actually about the mechanics. Ain't that interesting? Then I also found something else very funny. Once I actually started to think about it, the bosses are also not quite well designed. I was like, I like the design of the bosses, but some of them feel unfair, right? And I was like, what is about this boss that feels unfair, right? I was like thinking about it. Contact damage is one thing. I fucking hate contact damage. Yes, but I realize it's because there is some amount of artificial difficulty that is like bullshit kind of difficulty, as in double damage, right? Or some of the bosses felt very tanky and they didn't flinch to getting hit, right? Some of the collision boxes were not as tight as they could be, right? Like when the last boss I actually fought. The one where I like stepped on his cloak and that was enough to do damage to me. Double damage by the way. That's when I realized there is a lot of stuff wrong with the game, I feel. Unraveled, yes. That's when I realized, even though it was very minor, they did the thing where they like made the game more difficult, but by making the bosses have more health and do more damage, and not really like increase difficulty. Which is quite interesting. Yeah. Huh. Another thing that I noticed is, yeah, I love the game also.
Told you the combat is bad.
The combat is better than Hollow Knight. I feel it could be better. But another thing that I noticed was the introduction of the wishes, right? Basically, they give you quests. And I think that kinda... I'm kinda undecided about the quest. Yeah. Mainly because, I don't know, I feel like they did it nicely, but also there is some chat, it notice. The cat notice. Damn it. Some quests were good, some were boring, yes. Damn it. Yeah, it noticed. I was like, I'm going to catch him meowing this time. Damn it. Give me a moment, I'll be right back. Yeah, let me let the cat out. One moment, one moment. Okay. Some quests were boring. Well, I think most of the quests were good. Compared to other games, yeah. I think most of them were good. Yes. So, the quest... What to call it? While they feel good, there is... I have this sense that it made the game lose some mystery? I don't know. It really made like the game feel more gamey. When it comes to immersion, I feel like Hollow Knight did it better. It feels like it lost some mystery. I don't know. Maybe it's like I feel like there is no more exclusivity. That's how I will put it. Because, for example, I don't know if you guys know, there is this one quest in a Final Fantasy game where you are told nothing. There is this like group of 3 people talking about something, a random theme in a house, in a town, right? So if you go and talk to them, they tell you about this like legend, right? Then you go and do a main quest, right? Come back, and they tell you about the same legend, but a little bit more extra info. And you do another main quest, come back, talk to them, and they tell you more. And you have to keep doing this over and over and over. And eventually they tell you the location of this like awesome reward. Right? But there is no quest. There is no sense of if you keep doing this, you will get something. Right? Most people don't know this quest exists. Even when we're in the hardcore like Final Fantasy fanbase, they don't know about this quest. At least it's not as nonsensical as the Elden Ring quest. In what way do you mean nonsensical? Because, for example, in Dark Souls, I believe it was on Dark Souls 3, there is this section of the game you can only access if you use a specific emote at a specific location. Right? Oh, I see. So you dislike the quests I love. The ones that have no like hint whatsoever. I like that kind of quest. The ones where you have to actually notice stuff. Yeah. Hollow Knight barely has... I think it has like 1 or 2 quests like that. I'd rather not realize halfway that you fuck the quest, especially when there is no save feature, blood feature. I see. I think those kind of quests are better if they don't have a fail state. You either do them or not. Yeah. You like those when they are not missable? Yes. That's the kind of quest I refer to. For example, I really like the Parasite that gives you an ending. What I don't like about it is that it's missable. Yeah. Like, okay, I need to notice it, but let it be possible for me to notice later on. Yeah. I do agree that's better, yes. But then again, there are some, like, time events that I do like that can only be seen at certain moments on the quest. As long as it's, like... what to call it? It doesn't have, like, an important reward. But that's a lot of like flavor. Yeah. Like for example, I prefer a quest I didn't know existed. Give me a very nonsensical small reward than a quest I know that gives me a big reward. Do you get what I mean? It's like I want to be rewarded for having fun, right? So, if you give me a checklist, how do I express this? Okay, you crave the joy of digging something that is well hidden. Yes, but you see, there is this big issue in the way some people construct their games. You finish this super hard is very easy to miss quest. It is 10 mushrooms. No, difficulty has no bearing of it. Like for example, that quest I mentioned of the Final Fantasy. The reward is like nonsensical small, but there is no boss fight. There is no like adventure. It's like they tell you where something interesting is. Right? It's not that it's hard. It's that it's encouraging something that developers don't do often. Okay, let me try to explain this. If you give me 100 quests, even if they are interesting, let's say every quest is good, well-paced, good rewards, etc. Right? Once I finish that list of 100 quests, I will stop playing. But give me 3 hidden quests that you didn't tell me were there, but I discovered something by doing them. Then you will have me combing through the whole fucking game for 300 hours, trying to look to see if I can find something else. It's not about doing it by myself. It's about the fact there is something there. That is what had me like exploring every inch of Ocarina of Time when the rumor about the unicorn fountain was going around. When I discovered the original Zelda and I saw you could like get the Triforce physically, you had me searching the entirety of Ocarina of Time looking for the Triforce. When I realized there was maybe some kind of meaning to the text in the signs of Ocarina of Time, I was fucking trying to translate them. Even the blurry text, you cannot even see what symbol is. Because I find out the label of the Lolon Ranch bottle actually saying something. If you give me 100 quests that are good, with good reward, but it's a checklist that you specifically and explicitly tell me, here is 100 quests. Once I'm done with those quests, I will stop playing. But if you give me a really fucking small reward that I didn't know was there because I actually explore a little, then I will fucking search the whole game over and over and over and over. No, not Ubisoft style. Well, the 100 quests of Ubisoft style is like the worst incarnation of that. Yes. But I feel like games have lost that. The holy shit, I didn't know this was here. What else have I missed in this game? If this is here, what is over there? Right? That mystery. That's why I liked more the way Hollow Knight did the quest. Because it was not a checklist. There was no completion percentage. There was no journal telling you, hey, as long as this thing is like not marked as completed, the quest is still going. Yeah. That's the thing. So if Silson had quests that were invisible in the quest menu, I will be fucking searching the whole game. Yeah. NPCs telling you, hey, that quest area is interesting, let's check it out. And your quest journal days. Yes, that's a problem for me. Because I know there is a quest. And I know when the journal updates it as completed, there is nothing else to be found. Right? But if you don't, then I will search the area, looking to see what I can find. Yes. Yeah, you can have both, yes. But Hollow Knight doesn't have that. Excuse me, Silksong doesn't have that. The only quest that I felt that it was like that, it was the Parasite quest. Yeah, and even that had like a first half that was a quest. And that's the issue, because once I complete your list of quests, I feel like there is nothing else in the game, and I will simply stop playing. Right? I feel like side quests should be, for the most part, hidden. Well, not hidden. Untracked would be the best, like, way to put it. Just have the main quests being tracked and the rest being like quests you can do or you cannot. Yeah. That would like had me searching the whole fucking game. Yeah. Yes. That's what has gamers looking for Mew under a truck on a out of the bounds area in the original Pokemon. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I feel like Hollow Knight is really fucking good, but it's not perfect. There are things here and there I will change. I feel like even though it was very light, they like turned the knob a little bit to like allow a wider audience to come into the Hollow Knight franchise, right? They made it accessible to non-gamers. Well, not so much non-gamers, more like casual gamers. Not a Metroidvania Souls-like enthusiast. Yeah. You don't like Hollow Knight's comment, so you can never play through it? Yeah, that's understandable. Yes. There are certain games I will never play. Like racing games. Those games are like incredibly boring to me. Yeah. Anyways, shall we move on to game development? Mostly because the things you mentioned, those were big issues for you.
Hello, stream started. Hello, Nia Tilda. Told ya the combat is bad.
Oh my god, Verthandy is against accessibility? I will put it this way. You not being capable of beating a boss doesn't make you a disabled person. As much as you would like to claim it.
I am here.
Don't go like claiming accessibility when you're not disabled. Hello, Katoki. Welcome, welcome. Yes, but some people are not. That's the issue. Okay. Let's see. So we were here. This is our lovely map design for Dungeon 4, right? I think game rules should apply for disability. If that kind of issue is considered disability, more than like applying for disability, they will need a nanny. Not gonna lie. Okay, so this is a ground floor. Floor 1. I mean, something's wrong with them. Yeah, I do agree with that. So, F1, this is the critical route. You need to trigger the switch to open the door. Then you can grab this key to open 3 spots. Grab the compass, go up a level. And then on level 2, floor 2, you enter to here, fight your way through, fight the second boss, the sub-boss, excuse me. They don't know how to play games. Yeah, I also agree with that. And then we grab the dungeon item, we go here, you can grab the map if you want, and we go down to floor 1. We continue through here, exit through here, trigger the switch to open this door, then we go down. On B1, we exit through here, trigger that to open this door. Here we can get a random like troll reward. Open this to open the boss key. Actually, let me mark the boss key here before I forget. Before I forget. New. Where are you? This. That's the boss key right there. And also I want this key mark also. Okay. So we grab the boss key, come back out, go through here. We need to hit the blocks again with the arrows, and then we can go fight the boss and obtain the treasure. Isn't this dungeon fully planned? Yes, I was just double checking. So this is Dungeon 4. Okay. That's Dungeon 4. Basically completed. Now, Dungeon 5 is going to be a lock and key kind of dungeon, but we are not planning that. Dungeon 6 is another puzzle box that is going to be a nightmare to design. Then we have Dungeon 7, that is our next dungeon to design today. So let me kill this. Right. Okay. So let's see. I was thinking last... Wait, no. Hold on. Did I skip something? Oh yes, I did skip something. Oh, this is... Well, we will not work on this. This was the temple sacrifices we were talking about last time. This is Dungeon 5. Yeah. I want to do all the gauntlet dungeons first. But now that I think about it. Hold on. So that's the Dungeon 5. Let me just put a name to this because it's confusing. Dungeon 5. Okay. Make the... You are aware that we have like 4 or 5 gauntlet dungeons? This is meant to be a puzzle box, and we have level 7. Okay, so this one is Dungeon 6. Right here, let me just hit the map. I'm just going to say D6. This is Dungeon 5. What happened there? Oh, right. Because I changed the name of the file of the folder. I kind of fucked up. Dungeon 5. Okay. This is 35 rooms. Dungeon 6, I want it to be 40. Is it me increasing the number by 5 each time a little too much? I wonder. Huh. Is that too much? I'm wondering. Can you guys help me? Is that too much? You finished that dungeon like you yet? You're missing sync code? Hold on. I want to finish at least all the gauntlets before I actually try to make more code. Okay, so let's say the shipwreck, right? This the original dungeon. This is dungeon 1, right? This has 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Right? And then we have dungeon 2. How many do we have on dungeon 2? Okay, we have 4. These are 5, 10, 15, and 5, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 26. 5, 10, 15, 20, 26. Yeah. So dungeon 2 has 26. So the shift from one to another is one room. Hello, Ins. Hello, hello. Did you miss productivity? Not yet. This is 26 rooms.
Did I miss productivity?
Let's see. Then the red ring. Dungeon 3.
Ricardo Lucoli has perished, and it's getting timed out for 1 minute.
Wow. This is dungeon 3. Right? And we have the one that is 9, 11. It has 11. Then we have 12. And then we have 13. We have 36. So this is actually bigger than the other gun we have. Huh. Already. Huh. Okay. So we have a total of 36 for this one. 25, 26, 36. So this increased like by 10. Then we have dungeon 4. That is the one we made last time. This one has how many? This is 9, 11. Okay. So we have 11. Then we have 9 and 4, 13. And then 6. So this is 30. Interesting. This is smaller than the other one. Mine explodes. So that's 30. For Dungeon 4. Interesting. 1, 2. So this increases by 1. Then this is a big jump. Then we have 30 here. That's increased by 4. So Dungeon 5 is how big again? The simple sacrifice. 35. So we went from 30 to 35. And then I suppose that means Dungeon 6 has to be 40. And Dungeon 7 has to be 45. Okay.
XPLODE.
So Dungeon 7 has to be 45. This one is a gauntlet. Gauntlet dungeon. Dungeon 2 is a lock and key. Oh.
AINZ9577 bytes the dust and it's getting timed out for 1 min.
I don't know what you said, but you got destroyed. And then the next one is a puzzle.
Burn not wood, but the name you once clung to.
DZVW has perished. And it's getting timed out for 1 minute. You deaf.
What are you guys doing? You keep tempting fate. So this is a puzzle box. This has to be a gauntlet. So I'm just marking
Kato Kayek has perished. And it's getting timed out for 1 minute. You deaf.
Wow. That's a gauntlet. Then we have the 5 that is going to be lock and key. Then we have Dungeon 6 that is going to be a puzzle box. That's indeed an explosion. I already used the recent trigger mine has adapted to it. You know, I can just add more words, right? Okay, so that's 6. That's going to be post-pause, and this is going to be our downlet. And it has to have 45 rooms. Okay. Okay. Let me close everything else. I'm going to have that measure. Right? Okay. Let me open my lore encyclopedia and see what is the theme of this dungeon. Dungeons. Number 7. Wait. Did I fuck up? Hold on. Now I'm confused. Wait, did I fucked up? Wait. Huh? Did I level the... Okay, I think I fucked up. Yeah, I fucked up. Okay. Okay, so this is wrong. Hold on. Let me close this. I was like thinking, why did we start the temple sacrifice like last stream, right? Even though that was not supposed to be the dungeon 5, right? Well, that's because I fucked off my order. This right here is wrong. So let me just kill this. The temple sacrifice is not meant to be dungeon 5. The temple sacrifice is dungeon 7. So let's see. That's why we started this temple before. And the number of rooms is not 35. It's supposed to be 45. No, I won't get scrap. I just confused the numbers of the dungeons. So this is dungeon 7. And it's not a Lonka key, it's a downlet. Well, we have most of the things done, right? We have 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 16, and 4 is 20. And over here we have the area I was working on, that is 9 and 2, that's 11. So you have, this is 11, I can make this area bigger, I suppose. We need to feed another 20 more. Shall I make this a bit bigger then? What if I put another bit right here, just to make it like more symmetrical? That would be 2, 4, 6, 26 in total. Okay, good night as well. Hopefully you are free of whatever torment you're in. Eventually. Okay, that's that. This would make for 4, 4, 5, and 2. That's 12. So I can have 4, 4, 4, 5. That's 10, 20, 5. And I can cut this too. I'm just trying to judge the shape of this. Where would the boss and suppose be? I guess I could put the boss up here in the center, right? But they don't have to be there. Okay, let's use some math, right? How often have you had it in the center? Quite a bit. Actually, no. Dungeon 1 doesn't have it at the center. The ship. Dungeon 2 does have it at the center. Dungeon 3 will have it at the center. It doesn't have to be at the center. Hmm. Okay, so there is this one metric that I want to use to place items in the dungeon. Okay, so we have dungeon 1, right? Probably it won't work like this, but I probably will. So we have 2 objects. Make the center bottom speed, they throw sacrifice down. The issue is that you can throw yourself in. And that is going to break a lot of stuff. Okay, we have 2 things. We have the map. Is one. We also have the compass. Right? And we have the dungeon item. That looks awful. Right? We had these 3 things. So I want these 3 things are going to settle the... Actually, we also need the key. Keys. And the boss key. Right now I've been like randomly placing stuff in the dungeons, but then I realized that the position of these objects basically matter when it comes to the difficulty of the game, right? So these first 2 matter when it comes to the distance to the entrance. The farther these 2 are from the entrance, the higher the difficulty of the dungeon. Right? So ideally, dungeon 1 will have this at a distance of 0. If possible, for both of these. But you cannot have both of the same room, right? So I will say let's have it on like a scaling distance, right? This would be at the entrance. Let's have the formula for the map be the entrance plus 1 and the compass be the map distance plus 2. Right? Now, the dungeon item, I want it to be at the halfway point, right? So, this would be on a dungeon size. How do I write this? Dungeon size over 2. So it is like half point of the dungeon. The keys had to be, depending on the dungeon number, how difficult is to take this sketch and implement to the actual game? Actually, once I have the sketch, it's very easy. It's harder to make the enemies and the dungeon item because it's programming a new mechanic into the game. So the dungeon number plus the distance to the door. Let's say door location plus dungeon number. And the boss has to be the same as this. So, boss door plus dungeon number, right? In theory, that should be the optimal way to make this. So, for dungeon 1, this would be on the room 2. It takes around a few months. For consistency, only does game day twice a week. Yes. This would be around room 3. Right? This, given that the first dungeon has 20 something, means that this should be on a different location. Dungeon number, this should be the position on the door plus the distance. Okay. Talking about this dungeon, given that this is the way we will be implementing stuff, dungeon 4, dungeon 2, because I want to increase the difficulty, should have it on room 3. They should have it on room 5. Right? Dungeon 3 should have this on room 4. They should have it on room 7. Dungeon 4 should have this in room 5. With this on room... Wait. That's wrong. It should be room 6. 5 to 7. This is dungeon 7, so dungeon 5 should have this on 6, 8. This 6 should have this on room 7, 9. And the 7, the one where we are, should have it on 8, 10. Okay.
6, 7.
Really? Really? Wow. Wow. Since the size of this dungeon is 45, one is the boss room, right? So the actual size is 44. That means the dungeon item should be on 22. Should be on room 22. On the halfway point, right? The distance from this is the door position plus dungeon number. That means the key should be 7 rooms apart from the door. And the boss also should be 7 rooms away from the door. Right? This is the distance. Okay. So we have now some metrics. Okay. Then let us start then. It's like plant a microfoot? Kind of, yeah. Okay. So let's see. First, let me clean this up a little bit. Okay. Let's go doing this slowly. First I will just have the outline to begin with. Okay. I wish I could have like different sizes for the eraser and the pen, so I didn't have to like delete. I mean, change the size of the eraser and the pen every time. That's kind of annoying. Ah. Okay. I believe once I finish this dungeon, I will implement both of them. Really, really fast. Ah. By the way, I'm not going to be focusing on art. Because I'm rushing. I'm going to try to get like a playable, a fairly good state first. You know, I just realized I could have done this way easier. I think I'm going to do that for the next floor. I didn't have to bother about this, to do this way. I just realized my mistake. Okay, let us now clean this. Yeah, I didn't have to bother with this. I just realized something. Very obvious that I should have like notice to begin with. It's hard to think about the player POV while you're saying it. I usually ignore that, not gonna lie. I don't really focus on the POV of the player. Okay, now we have an outline. Let me just properly outline it. Actually, let's just leave it like that. So we have this. Now what I should have done, right? So to not be annoyed by this, is like I could just like create another layer. Right, and just draw there. without a care in your world. Without a care. Like this. This is basically what artists do, right? They make a draft, then do the line work after that, right? So I was just trying to like delete my draft while I was like drawing my line work, which was kind of stupid. And I just killed the draft, and we had the outline. Right? I should have done from the start. I made a mistake. And now you don't have the border. Wait. So much issues, and now we have the outline. Okay, so I will just delete this layer, rename this one to the proper name. Okay, so now we have big one in B2. We have this data right here. Our match should be on roommate. Right there. Right? So first we need to decide where roommate is. Is the entrance right there? Right here. Should we keep it a closed room, or should we make it open? I wonder. What do you guys think would be best? Now that I think about it, this is the temple of sacrifice, right? So in theory, we should try to make a temple. So let's imagine a temple. Our sacrifice should be somewhere like around here. Right? I will guess like the stairs down should be on the sides. Then we should have like columns. It should be like the main chapel. And we'll have like columns here and have like things like that, right? Okay. So given that I can decide that this has to be an open area by default. So this won't be enclosed. Okay, so we enter through here. This is a very like big room, right? The position of our map should be on tile 8. Okay, first we need to set up where the boss is going to be the Goblin King, right? So he would be right here, behind the altar, in his throne. And for that to work, we need to have like some kind of barricade here. So let's say there is a barricade there, made of wood by the goblins, right? And you cannot go through here. Secret final boss. Secret final boss? There is already one of those. Okay. So we have this blocking us. The boss is going to be down here. Actually, let's put it right here. Is going where the boss is going to be. The main boss. Right? This is where the treasure is going to be. So the boss door is here. Okay. I can make this like a storage kind of stuff. In both sides. Okay. We have stairs down on each side. With older games, when the players listen like through corner walls, because the pixels line perfectly. Yeah, but that's more due to them using weird physics. Most of the time. Okay, so we have a set of 9 right here tiles. A barrier, we have that. So to have the player like explore the whole area fairly linearly, we can make this like an open area and have doors on the sides, right? We could have like 2 sets of stairs going down here on each side to the lower levels. And we can have another wall of debris here on each side to separate the things from the boss room. Okay, we have a door here. We can make it so you go through here, go up like this to find something there, and then go down to the stairs, and we can have a bunch of debris blocking the path and a treasure here of some kind. Going down to B2, right? It doesn't align correctly. Shit. Okay. Change of tactics. I'm going to move this whole thing. I will put it over here. Yeah. And this. I'll put it there. Right, so you go in here and go down. And there is a treasure if you come back up. And I can like extend a little bit the barrier here. So you have to go like this. Right, then we go to B2. Here. And you come down through here, the stairs. Is there something pulling in that direction? That's the only way to go. Down here, how we do this? On big one, we have these two stairs and another set down there. So I can have the other stairs right here for you to check. And here I can put proper walls. Right? Like an extra access. That means over here this can be walls legit. Okay. You come down here. The boss is right up here. But I want you to explore the rest of the dungeon, so... These stairs are not on the right location. So we'll move this. Over there. And this. Over here. Okay. We go through that, we come through here. I can have... It reminds you of Pokemon Black and White mountain design? Really? That's funny because this is supposed to be a temple. Okay. So this is a way out, right? So we need another door here to access the boss. And we can have these fights there. Okay. And now on B2 we have a bunch of open design. Now let's count some rooms. According to this over here, the match should be on room 8, right? So it should be somewhere in here. The compass should be in room 10, so that should be over here somewhere. The boss, the dungeon item should be on 22, so this is 10. That's 15. So it should be on B2. somewhere on B2. This is 15. Hold on. Nine, 10, 15. 20. So it should be somewhere beyond this area. Before you throw a couple multi-floor with puzzles that require different supposed to go up and down. Yes, I do know about those. This is going to be kind of different though. Actually, I could have the item be actually here in this spot. Because you need to go through 15 and 2 rooms, and then you get to the dungeon item right there. Okay, that's a solution. So we can make this whole level right here, and the rest of the dungeon be requiring the dungeon item. Okay, now that we have that, what's the dungeon item for this? Did we decide on the dungeon for this? Dungeon item? Hold on, let me check. What items do we have? This is the temple sacrifice. Let's see. So, dungeon items. We already have one for the bow. We have bombs, we have the whip. Given is the temple sacrifice, it needs to be something kind of thematic. And since we don't have that yet, give me ideas. What Zelda item do you like? Did you realize you were behind 20 seconds? Yes. I did enable that so you could like rewind and check stuff. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so we have the pumps, we have the torch, we have the bow. We have the magnet. We have the wing. I suppose I could use the magnet. Huh. We need the gun? Gun of what? We already have a bow, so he has to shoot something different. I'm also missing, like... Five items. Choose antimatter. This is not a sci-fi game, sadly. Okay, I will make it a magnet. Okay, so if it's the magnet... Oof, okay. That means I need to start thinking about that. So our dungeon item is the magnet. So we need something to pull and pull, right? So I suppose that means we need an iron cube, an iron block, something like that. How limited is spawning space? Will the player always have that length? There is no inventory. You have items, basically. You always have them. There is no... Well, some of them have consumable ammo, but you don't lose the item at any point. And they weigh nothing. There is no such thing as inventory management. Okay. So I suppose we should block the player to this area before we can continue this way, right? Okay, now that we have that, that means I can judge this more cleanly. Okay. Let me clean this up. Okay. So this wall continues up to here. And there is one right here. Up to here. This is going to be an enclosed room. Only accessible through a stair. Actually, that doesn't look right.
At its heart, where the storm first struck, dwells, veiled in mist and regret, a siren bound to guard the stolen relic no mortal hand was meant to hold. Asterisk.
Now stop now. Let's just leave it like that. That's a stair, and over here, I will just put it on the corner. Going to have the dungeon item. Right. That means here on B2, this is a boss battle. That's the sub-boss right there. The design by itself told us where the boss has to be by default.
Those chicken scratches mean the boss is terrifying.
Okay, so this is the boss. Right, and I suppose I will set a set of stairs here, like the other ones. And I will put a grounded block here. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right back. Somebody's knocking at my door. One moment.
Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Asterisk, 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 asterisk.
Okay, let us continue. So this is the boss. I guess I will put the entrance right here. Right. And actually that means this wall right here needs to be bigger. This has to be a wall. Okay, so now we have the location of the sub-boss. And that also means I need to go the stairs here. Let's go down. Now that I think over it, shouldn't I do the thing where... Yes, I probably should. Do the thing where you learn how to use the item. That probably will be a smart game design, right? Actually, we don't need this. We can make this one way. So you are stuck in here once you enter the room to force you to use the item, right? That is supposed to be good dungeon design. So I suppose I will put something here. Yeah, let's put it right here. So you use the item itself. And for that I will be using this thing. Right here. Really? Did it spawn it all the way over? Yes, it did. All the way over there. And it's not even what I copied. Lovely. Right. So we have this right there. Blocking the path. Right? So you can use the item to get out. So that gives this area an entrance through this. That means I can extend this through here. All the way over here. Yeah, there is not supposed to be pass through here. Okay. So now I need to make the barricade. Makes sense? Okay. I suppose I can make this a room, right? That would make sense. That drawing studio must be very flexible. Use a modeling software earlier today and everything was illustrated with touching elements. I have no idea what we're using, but sounds like a thing. Not gonna lie. I suppose I can make this an actual wall to make this a room. No. Let's just make it a wall. Like this. And we need a barrier right here. So let me make a little barrier. I'm going to just make like shapes. Hello, stream.
Colon
Welcome,
virtual
welcome.
hug.
Hello. Welcome, welcome. I think this is good enough. Like that. Okay. So I'm going to copy stuff up. I'm going to copy this. Go over here and let's just place it. Why does it not like bring it where I am? That's so annoying. I will place it right there. To make the barricades. Okay. And then I will just collapse this. There we go. So that's a little barricade there. Yeah, I'm using GIMP. Actually, let me delete all this. And I can keep doing this. You know something funny? I didn't think anyone will miss the coding. Because I think that's the most like abstract and hard to watch part of making a game. So I find it funny when people say they miss the coding when I'm doing dungeon design.
Only the person doing the coding understands or cares about their own code, aside from people wanting to learn, that is.
Yeah. That is indeed true. That's why I thought people will enjoy more these kind of design streams than my coding streams. Yeah. It is scarier than it looks? I would say the opposite. It looks scarier than it actually is. Okay, so we go through this, right? Through this into a stair. So we go in here to a stair. Let's see. I suppose I will put it like over here in a corner. I'm trying to think of a good shape that will represent the stairs. I suppose that's good enough. So that's how we do it. Okay, so we have the position of the dungeon item. Leads us back out here. This is supposed to be a door. For planning stage like this, you probably get stuck. Images from Google, image search, other things. Yeah, I suppose. But I'm too lazy to do that. You can go back through here, down here. Actually, since I had the player come back out here, I could maybe divide this in half. That's an option. Okay. Okay. So I can make this a room right here. Does that make sense? I'm trying to like imagine the structure of the dungeon on my head. You go in here, and there is supposed to be stairs down here. No, it doesn't make sense. Unless I separate the two areas. Okay, just so the outline is like visible, let me just complete this real quick. You now can see more like the profile of this. And the scribbles on the wall. When did I make this line? I don't remember. Okay, this is the B2, right? We're supposed to have this area separate, so they fight the sub-boss, right? We get in here, we exit through here, and now we're supposed to go in here and go down through here. Okay. And down here we start here. The other stairs is here. And I want this to be like a mechanics kind of thing. So I want to make these separate, these two areas, right? So we have 9, we have 7, 11. Okay. A total of 18. So 9 rooms per each. Okay. This is 5. This is 4. Hmm. 5, 4. So I could divide it like this. That's 9, 2, 9, 4, 5, or 5. Yeah, that's a good division. Let me check something. 9, 10, 15, 20, 22. Yeah, that's the right location for the boss. I suppose. Okay. So now we need to use the Dugeon item. But this is a gauntlet, so it has to be using combat. So we could have the goblins like carry metal objects, like the weapons, and use the magnet to stun them in a way. I'm trying to think of ways to make this work in a way. Hold on. One of my cats is being extremely annoying. Let me just kick them out. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. We know where the boss is supposed to be, right? We have this spot right here. I feel like the floor has to be something like this, right? So this should be like that. Yeah. Okay, if we have that movement there, and we send through here. I could have them like I could either divide this like this, or I could divide it like that, or right down the middle. Here goes here, and then you have the thingies there. So let's say I divide this down the middle. Right there. We have the boss, and we said the boss key should be 7 rooms away from it, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the key should be downstairs. Four, 5, 6, 7. It could be right there. I can place the dungeon key right here. Okay. That seems correct. Now that we have that, we have put this correctly and with, and also that. Oh. We have the map and the thingy that should be on 8 on the. So that should be in here. The map should be in there. I could put it, since we have this space, we have not decided. The compass should be on 10. So it should be right here. I suppose I could put it right here, actually. But I want something special about this, because it's like right on your path on the way to the boss. How about I make this appear only after our enemies are killed. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So the map should be 8 spots away, right? We have this 9 right here. So a way to divide this. This is 1 by default. 1, 2. These 2 could be 2. 3. 4. 3. I need to put some kind of block. If I block this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could put 1 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to block this. I could do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That didn't help. What do I like to eat? I like a lot Italian foods. Pasta, spaghetti, that kind of stuff. Yeah. You come out through here. I kind of feel like it should be like that. Actually, I could just put it right here. Yeah, it's a bit like off the beaten path. You see the locked door there? Maybe I could put it like down here. On a corner. So it would be... I hate that this thing doesn't place the stuff where I want them. Okay, so we have some debris blocking this. Okay. You tried asking for a sauce type, but apparently it has Bulgar rolls and can get censored? Oh, wow. That's funny. Not that I know much about cooking Italian food. I prefer much more eating it than cooking it. Saucy. You will hope so. There we go. We have locked that area, and I will add our chest down in the corner, right here. And this will be the map. And just the same, I will duplicate this. One. And then I will just grab this. One. One. I suppose I will put it right here. Like that. So we have the compass on the map position. We located the room where the boss key is supposed to be. We have a kinda set up the way this is going to be working. Actually, there is some things I need to do. How many pillars would be nice? Maybe I will just make like a circle. Should I put it like on the corners maybe? Like right here? You just have it be like a pillar. Taking up space. Mm. Tomato sauce. Wait, capes, olives. Can't have that one. I actually don't know what that one. You just mentioned like most of the ingredients I often see in sauces. So yeah, misspelling it often also helps. That's true. Ah. Okay, that's actually looking fairly good. Hmm. So we position now the map on the thingy. We are now only need to deal with. We only need to deal with keys. I feel like my brain reached capacity. Should I have like every 7 tiles have a key? Would that make sense? So for this whole area, you have 1 key, right? So I will put it right here.
Brain
That's
not
9.
braining, liver not livering.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So in between these, there should be another key. Where would that door be? If we set it right here, right? If we lock this, the other key would be somewhere up here. I could put it right there. that means we have 3, 6, 7. That will require another key. And it had to be up here too. So maybe I could put the second key here and one right there. Is this place on the ground desert forest dungeon? This is supposed to be on the underground temple, currently occupied by zombies. Excuse me, goblins. A temple claimed by goblins, so it should have a lot of ransacked and makeshift barricades, very low tech, lots of torches and fire illuminating. Lots of goblins, makeshift weapons, and it should look like the goblins repurposed the temple as a base, right? But just should be able to see the temple beneath it. Yes. That's the idea. It's goblins, not zombies. My mistake. Okay, I suppose I can set this here. I can make this a lock. Door. Right, and I can put the key over here somewhere. So that's one. Then over here I could lock that. And this other can also have a lock. We have this too. There is not gonna be some scary cave sound like in Minecraft. I'm planning on making something worse. So you can look forward to that. Okay, I think I can lock this. Just to make it more interesting. And lock this too.
The ghosts of past sacrifice victims screaming in horror and agony.
Yes and no, something similar. So I can make a wall right here. Like that, and I can also make one right there.
Thus was born not a memory, not a soul, but the animated mask of betrayal.
Audio is something in games with some visual and audio can really pull audiences in. Yeah, it depends whether or not you put attention to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to make this interesting without making it too complex. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I think I can put one here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can put one here. That looks really weird. Okay, and down here for this one, I suppose I can put the key over here. I also need to place the stairs here. I'm still trying to figure out how exactly I'm going to make his room. Okay, on big one we have these two 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I suppose I can put one here. Two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I think the overarching like structure is kind of set. The only thing we're missing is like mostly the design of the undergrounds. Like the broad strokes of the dungeon are basically there. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I shouldn't be studying like other stuff before I stream game development because my brain is not like processing anymore. Okay. I'm getting there. I still don't know what I'm going to put in those rooms. These ones.
Welcome CJ2 Nerdy, please enjoy the stream.
How's
Hello.
our journey going?
It's going slowly, painfully, but it's getting there. Very, very slowly. Also, welcome. Welcome, CJ. I think this needs to go through here. We won't build a great castle in one day. Well, one day is like optimistic, yes, but I've been at this for 2 years already, so motivation is required. But it's going very slowly. Right now I'm just refining the schematics for a dungeon. Oh, you've been deleted for 12 years. Okay, that's painful. I can justify that I'm doing it alone. But 12 years. Ouch. I do remember seeing one streamer that had been working on a single game for quite a while. But they didn't want to publish for some reason. Even though the game looked very complete. They just kept adding details and details and details and details. Yeah. You are doing multiplayer RPG. You need to learn 3D modeling, animation, all that. That's some stuff. That's why I didn't start with 3D. I don't feel like I have the skills yet to do something like that. Yeah. You did a few to the games and among the sprites needed from a single direction. Cycle the job. Yes, that's indeed true. Doing 2D, especially sprite work, punishes a lot changes. Because it's not easy to change something. Yeah, that's indeed true. Yes. Mine is coming along fairly well. I'm starting to get a bit desperate about the fact that it's not moving along as fast as I wish. Yeah. Oh yeah, I released prototypes. Yes. They are free to play on my Patreon. You don't actually need to join it or anything. They are available to the public. I'm actually making a point of streaming the whole process of making the game. Just so people are aware of the difficulties. Yeah. In fact, let me show you real quick. This is my game right here. The main screen is a placeholder, obviously. I'm still working on it. But my game itself is way more refined. There are still some textures that I feel like are very low quality. Mainly because I didn't know how to draw when I actually made the game. So they need some updating. Yeah. I have no audio or sound effects. Just visuals. I'm programming. My actual inspiration for this project was the original Zelda, the one from the Super Famicom, the 1986 one. But the more I improve on it, the more it gets closer to A Link to the Past. Yeah. Yeah. I only have wait, what happened there? Oh, did I get knocked out of the screen when I was not looking? Yes, I did. Lovely. That's one more bug I need to fix. It still has details to fix. Yeah, you can get stuck in the walls because of the way I'm handling the transition between screens. So, there is things to do. For sure. But yeah, I'm also working on upgrading the graphics, but because I feel like I'm not making much progress, I'm focusing more now on just making the dungeons in general. Oh. You can get stuck on the boss, so I need to fix that also. But yeah, this is my game. Still work in progress. You can play the prototypes on Patreon. Yeah. Also, the source code is available for whoever wants to check it out. I'm mainly making this project to show everyone what it takes to actually make a game. Yeah. But there you go. Currently, I'm working on Dungeon 7. Yeah. First, the planning. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome. There is more to the game, but It kinda is half broken because of the changes I made, so not much I can demonstrate. It always happens when you change one thing and the whole game breaks. Yeah, it happens. I have like, how many times have I fixed the pathfinding? I know the save system I have reworked like 3 times already. The pathfinding was what? 4 or 5? 6? Yeah, you had to remote combat for your game so I could get your equipment and stats set up. Yeah. It can be very, very, very difficult. Indeed.
Six, 7.
Don't start now. Come on. I'm trying to like figure out how to like set this to work. I know there has to be like a door here in the back. Okay. And this has to be a gauntlet door. I will just mark it so I don't forget. How do we make this boss room? Because, mind you, this rectangle I made at in the background right here is supposed to be the altar of sacrifice, right? And this here is supposed to be walls around it, right? Okay, so how about I make this like a makeshift thing that the goblins made, right? So okay, so it's going to be like this. How about I make this a palisade, right? I think that would be on team. Then I can copy this. Ah. Let's see. 5, 5, 6. And this is the Bosdorf writer. Okay, so we just put the door here. Okay. And I can complete the setting here. Just what we need around it. By the way, have you guys thought about how do you want the Goblin King to die? Or not yet? Not yet?
Oh, it's time. Time sure flies when you're 6-7ing.
Astro is already time. The Goblin King gets sacrificed. What did I say? The Goblin King gets sacrificed.
The Goblin King gets sacrificed.
I like the idea, actually. Let me write it down. Okay. Do you want something to happen when he gets sacrificed? Or not? Maybe he fell down onto the altar? That's what I was thinking, yes. Well, we still have time. Is it Lord Link taking form? For sure. Oh. Anyways, since it's time already, let's stop here for today. Yeah, my brain is not like working currently, so we will continue this later.
That drawing studio must be very flexible. Used a modeling software earlier today and everything was so strict with touching elements. Virtual hug. Hello, only the person doing the coding understands or cares about their own code. Aside from people wanting to learn, that is, brain not braining, liver not livering, the ghosts of past sacrifice victims screaming in horror and agony. How's our journey going? Oh, it's time. Time sure flies when you're 6-7ing. The Goblin King gets sacrificed. Okay, good night everyone.
Yeah. I think we did quite a bit of progress. I believe we're about 50% down through this dungeon. Once we're done with that, I will actually make the dungeons. Yeah.
Dungeons.
Dunk what? Dungeons? Oh, I get it. Damn it. Whatever. Let's just go. Good night. It's pronounced Don JavaScript. I see. Good night. Bye bye. Adios. Buenas noches. Que descansen. Rest well. Good night. Thank you for coming to the stream. Thank you for watching. Good night. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Good night. Bye-bye. Adios. Adios. Good night. Good night. Bye-bye.
Element of surprise!
There it is. Good night. Adios. Buenas noches. Que descansen. Good night. Adios. Good night. Hola, Spy. Hola. Adiós. Good night. Hasta mañana. Bye.
As long as she remembers the sketches and the symbols should be okay. Lol, random scribbles on wall. Where to fit puzzles and loot. Brining the magnet bag and nice. Or kitty. I remember you showed the tile size previously, but the player size is pretty small compared to the T. You have a good amount of space to use. Shelter in. Just watching and thinking, still here lol. Good idea. Reward full clears. What do you like to eat? Okay, noted. I tried asking about a sauce type, but apparently, it has vulgar roots that can get censored. You can't say that the sauce is saucy. Tomato-based sauce with capers and olives. Can't type the name out lol. Pinched fingers emoji. Try spelling it wrong. Brain not braining, liver not livering, sure. Don't mind me just noodling with censoring. Is this place background is desert, forest, dungeon, temple? With zombie in it. You said goblin. Zombie goblins. Zomblins. Now that sounded like zombie pancakes, because I believe blins are like pancakes or something in you. There's not gonna be some scary cave sound right like in Minecraft, the ghosts of past sacrifice victims screaming in horror and agony? Oh, confused face emoji, scary. Audio is so interesting in games. With some visuals and audio you can really pull audiences in. Thus was born Dash, not a memory, not a soul, but the animated mask of betrayal. Yep, audio is one of the more overlooked part of game dev. Wow, great steps. How's our journey going? Welcome CJ2 Nerdy, please enjoy the stream. Yellow. Thanks for the welcomes. We won't build a great castle in one day, smile. Oh damn, yay, I've been working on my project for 12 years. Finally might be playable, smiley face emoji. She is really intelligent and strong too. I'm doing multiplayer RPG and I needed to learn 3D modeling and animation and all that. Added a few 2D games and the amount of sprites needed for a single 9-direction walk cycle beat me up. Do you have a playable demo or are you planning? Alex Mercer. Ooh, very cool. Free is the way emo. Hey. Very cool. Very Link to the Past. Wow. Oh no, smiley face emoji. It always works till you show someone. Knockout of the screen nong. Very nice. Thanks for THR showcase. It's so good. Yay, I had to remove combat from my game so I could get my equipment and stat system set up. So I know, oh, it's time. Time sure flies when you're 6-7ing. The Goblin King gets sacrificed. Maybe he fell down onto the altar or something. Yay, okay, good night everyone. Dons. It pronounced Dons. Bye. Spy.rabbit used surprise alert. Ola. Hola DDD. Hand pink waving. Hasta mañana XD. Bye, D.